Welcome to this second part of the IQANdesign tutorial about functional safety, where we're going to talk about safety-related function groups. So in the previous part we looked at redundancy and diagnostics, and we also looked at interacting with other safety functions. And here we're going to look at what happens when you organize your application in safety-related function groups, how that changes the project check, and also look at how to make a good interaction between non-safety related functions and safety functions. So in the MC4 safety manual you find this requirement, safety related function groups in IQANdesign. And what this does is that it doesn't change the runtime execution of things, but it brings you some stricter checks to help you guide you to make a good safety related application software. So it helps in making safer applications. And some things that it does, it checks how the I/O is used on the FS module, or that it is on an FS module. It limits to a subset of channels, so things like interactive messages and so on are not suitable for using safety functions. It puts some checks on protecting parameters and some stricter checks in general. So let's look at how this looks in IQANdesign. Starting out here we have the same application as in the previous tutorial, and if we move up one step we see that this is not marked as safety related at the moment. We can select the project check here and we see we have two warnings about security. So if you're not familiar with those, that's for another tutorial, I think. Let's now right click on this one and mark it as safety related. We hit refresh here and we see two errors coming up: adjust group not protected and min and max parameters have the same limits. In the MC4 safety manual we find this requirement about access protection of safety related parameters. So why do I think that the current output settings are safety related? I said before in the previous tutorial that it was a hold to run that was the safety function. So the proportional behavior of the current output really isn't that safety critical. But it matters for the stopping performance. We have our min current and our stop slope. When we let go of the lever, if the min current is high and the stop slope is long, that's going to prolong the stopping time, and that's what we want to prevent by protecting this current output. So let's look at what we have for limits here. If we just click on this, we get to the adjust item and we see this error that it's giving us about min limit being equal to the max, and that's just unnecessarily high, so we can sort that out. We also see that for the current output we already have a limit on the max stop slope, so that's reasonably good. We could narrow it down if we want to, but let's fix this min and max current so that they're more narrow. If we right click here we can go to channel, we find the current output, and we can just use the device type to get better limits here. Select the correct valve type, and that changes the default settings. It sorts out that error, and if we navigate back to the adjust item, we see that we now have some tighter limits on min and max. So let's look at this other error about the adjust group not being protected. Close navigator for a while, we see adjust group not protected. So that can be protected either with a pin code or with an IQANrun access level. And in this case we've already narrowed it down quite well with the limits. It's not it's something that we could trust the skilled driver with adjusting. So we just set the pin code on here, and then at least we have sorted out that minimum level of security for something that's not as critical. When we've marked this as safety related, that also limits the channels we can use to those suitable for use in safety functions. So for example, an interactive message that someone may want to use for overrides, that's going to give us a project check error. If we bring up the project check here, we see not allowed in safety related function groups. So let's get rid of that. We also have the IO types, like now we have the current output, and we could use a PWM output here. And even if we place this on the MC4 and we control this with the lift function, this is also going to give us not allowed in safety related function groups. And that's because the open control PWM output doesn't have the same level of error detection as a current output has, where the current output measures the current and makes sure that you're in the right range. This doesn't, the PWM output doesn't find all those errors. So let's get rid of that also. Up until this point, we've looked at a single safety function, the lift hold to run, and we had this enable function, but we didn't really say what it was for. So let's say it's for a driver in seat, then that's a safety function, and it shouldn't be built with just a single digital input. So I won't go into detail on how to build that up from scratch, just showing here quickly how it looks. So instead, let's focus on an interaction with a non-safety related function, like a lift anti-stall that just looks at engine speed and limits the output. And we need to bring that signal into our safety related function group. So let's see how we can make that happen. So I've prepared a function group with engine signals like engine speed. And if I just put this as channel scope public, that would normally make it available throughout the application. And just to demonstrate this, let's just make this lift function marked as non-safety related just for the moment to see how this works. And going into limiting here, we add this speed limitation for the anti-stall, and here we can select this public scope engine speed, and we see it's brought in, and we take and set the limitations here, so 800 RPM to 20% limitation and 1300 RPM to 100%. So that looks fine when it's marked as not safety related. But if we go up here and mark it as safety related, we will have an error here. So bringing up the project check, we see only local channels are allowed in safety related function groups. And the rule here is to ensure that you have well-defined interfaces between your different functions. And we don't really think that the public scope is a well-defined interface. Let's go through the FGI instead. So the function group interface channel. So we find that under structure here, function group input. So bringing in an FGI, let's name this engine speed FGI. We can change this now so that instead of this public scope one, we go through the FGI. That's a local connection there. Let's sort out the calculation order, and also we need to go up and let's, instead of having this as public scope, let's just make this a regular function group output here. It's more visible then, and we can connect it here. So we have this connection, and it looks good on this level, but when we look in here, I still have an error here about property not defined. So property should be defined to ensure correct functionality. So that's the min and max limits. So it allows any sort of signal in here of this value type at this moment. So let's narrow it down to 0 and 3000. Those are reasonable values. So if the value would go outside of these, it would be clamping it to these limits, making for a more predictable analysis of what's happening in here. And I mean, that's one thing that we can't get help with from the project check. Looking at this, how the logic actually works. So here it's built so that it's a limitation that only changes the speed limitation. It doesn't put it to 0, and that's an important part. It doesn't mess with the restart conditions or anything. It's just a change of speed, and that's why we can see this as two safety functions interacting with each other, and then we have this non-safety related signal coming in as a pure change of speed, but not affecting the hold to run or the enable function in any way. So that's a good way of organizing things.